Hey, huishoudens, jullie Wouter. Vandaag doen we weer de Stanley Parable, want ik kreeg eigenlijk weer een goede comment. Wat was dit? Comment om wat te doen, want dat krijg ik nooit en dat is heel erg jammer, want ik weet nooit wat te doen. Dus dit is heel erg mooi, ik moest dit verder doen. Vandaag heb ik besloten om maar eens iets anders te doen, want volgens mij heb ik nog steeds niet gedaan precies wat hij niet wil.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Moet ik hem nu al gaan negeren? Ik stap helemaal niet meer office uit hoor. Zo, deur dicht.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Oh. Dat vind ik cool. Oh, moet ik nu wel stappen?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Nee, ik ga niet naar de meeting room. Van deze deur open. Jammer. Wat extreem jammer dit. Hier zijn de twee
When
deuren.
Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes,
No.
truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Prachtig. Verder. Okay, let's
But
go.
eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nee, fuck it. Dit ziet er veel interessanter uit. Hello.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think
Holy
perhaps
shit.
we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me,
Zo'n slimme.
I'm
Spring
asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back
shit,
into
het is
your
één.
life.
Nee.
She's been waiting.
Oh. Deur is dicht. For fuck's sakes.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith...
Holy shit. Hello?
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day. I want you to come in and tell me all about your day. I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Holy shit.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Holy shit. Hallo. Klootzak.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Jesus Christ. Oh, 5.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Ja, nee, maar hier ga ik je tegen. Hey!
Can he just not hear me? How
Oh,
can I tell
yeah.
him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
F5, daarbij kan je de view gewoon. Nu heb ik zin om niks in te drukken. Ik wil graag zien wat er dan gebeurt. Ik trek van alles in twijfel, dus jammer. Maar ik ga niet op 2 drukken. Nee. Nee. 2 is niet mijn knop. 2 is niet voor mij. Mag ik wel wat anders doen? Mag ik hier... Oh. Blijkbaar moet ik op 2 drukken.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I
Ik ga dood. Oh, en helaas gaat hij weer opnieuw. Zo. Fucking zielloos mormel ben ik. Woe! Ja, ik vond het wel weer genoeg voor vandaag, jongens. Trouwens ook even vragen jullie stellen. In de comments hier laat even weten wat jullie... welke serie ik opnieuw moet gaan reviven. Is dat Transport Fever, Civilization 5 of World of Tanks? Ik kan ook World of Tanks opnieuw gaan spelen, hè. Het is wel wat ik jaren geleden heb gespeeld. Wat ik nu niet meer doe. Wat ik nu op mijn kanaal moet hebben. Moet ik die serie reviven? Ik heb kapot veel zin om het te doen. Maar dan wil ik even aan jullie vragen. Go. Bye. Voor nu ga ik het dan even hierbij laten. Vonden jullie dit leuk? Smash een like button. Smash ook even like button als je meer van wilt zien. Abonneer als je meer van mij wilt zien. Reageer wat like button wil zien van mij. En druk op knoppen. Bye bye. Druk altijd op knoppen.